whoever's out there, you can make fun of me all you want, but writing in a journal is so
I need to start doing that.
relieving. I don't even know how to explain it.
Hey guys, welcome to Keeping It 49.5. Here,
What do you mean?
well, I have some explaining to do. Munna has officially retired from Keeping It 99, so I'm the only host.
Wait, so I can be the co-host?
No. So I just want to go out and say thank you, Munna, for everything you've done for the podcast. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for all your support, for viewing, watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. It means a lot. And yeah.
We love you, Munna.
Yeah, we love you, Munna. Something else I would like to say before we get into it, before I introduce who you are. In the description, first link in the description is going to be a link to a fundraiser for St. Mark's American Coptic Orthodox Church. They are building a new building, and they need some fundraising. So link in the description if you want to help out. It would mean a lot if you put some money into it, because, you know, it's always good to have a church building.
Go high schoolers.
Thank you, Ivana. You're not even in this shot, but thank you. Appreciate it. Anyways, with us today,
Okay.
we have So first off, welcome to season 2 of Keeping It 99, first episode of season 2. And it was only right that the first episode of season 2 would start with the first guest of season 1. We got Mr. George Bogdady with us here today.
Big Daddy. Anyway, so...
Pull this closer. Turn
Okay.
Turn it. Yeah, like
Okay,
that.
you like that?
Yeah, it's
Is that
like
better
that.
for you?
Yeah.
So, today I think it's
You're
only
too quiet,
right.
bro. See, first episode you're too loud, now you're too quiet. What's
I'm
happened? You're actually kind of quiet, yeah. Maybe turn it up later.
Okay, so... Stop. That's enough.
Okay, tell the editor. Pause. I don't want you to do it too much. Like, this should be fine. Calling it. Hello. Yeah, you should be good.
Okay, restart from the it's only right.
Oh, yeah. So we're gonna start it. I'm gonna restart it. It's only right. Okay, 3, 2, 1, action. You know, so it's only right now that it's the first episode of season 2 that we get the same guest as the first guest from season 1. We got George Bogdady with us. Very special guest. Thank you, George.
Thank you for having me.
So the first time you didn't really get a proper introduction. It's 10:47 in Mississippi. But so, you know, maybe tell the viewers, you know, the new viewers, like, who are you?
Okay, first off, I wanted to apologize for the first episode, you know, screaming into the mic, you know. It was immature. And now I'm here for season 2 with a real conversation. And first off, I am 17 years old. I go to Cherokee High School, and I play football. And if you're wondering, I play D-line. And we've had a rough season, so to say the least.
Yeah, rough season,
You know, keep pushing through. So we'll see where it goes from there into our region games. But yeah, I'm Coptic Orthodox, if it's not obvious enough. And I mean, there's not much about me.
What's your story, man? Like how are you the person you are today?
Well, that's a difficult question, but I mean, it's kind of obvious too. I mean, my parents, my church community, the people I hang out with day to day. I mean, I guess that makes me the person I am. And then a little bit of me, you know.
Already cut out for the interviews? You're already getting those responses ready, those robot responses.
The cliches.
Yeah, the robot responses. I see, that's fine. Don't worry, today in this podcast, we're going to push you past all those responses, and we're going to really dig deep into the depths of your heart.
I don't like that.
So, you know, today we decided that we were going to talk about stress.
Yeah.
And the difference between good stress, bad stress. I don't know if you want to get personal or not, but we'll see how this goes.
Okay, I don't know how personal you want to get, but I will tell you
Whatever
this,
you
though.
want.
I think stress is something in our lives that could really benefit us, and that I feel like personally for me, I don't utilize it in the right way, you know? Sorry. So, stress, like, I guess at our age is really kind of the school, college type of
Yeah.
stress. It's not like the financial, I have a family stress,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a different degree of stress. But everyone understands stress at some different level. So for us, we pretty much understand it at school. Like, I need to get good grades, have a test, sports, extracurriculars, all of this. And it's kind of difficult really to compare that to an adult because they go through, like, I don't want to say real life stress, but they go through stress that other people are involved in. So to some degree, I think at our age we have to understand that there's, I guess, the bigger picture, and the other people around us in our families go through a lot more stress, and we're not like the only ones. But to really differentiate between good and bad is when stress motivates you instead of kind of creates this anxiety. And I actually looked it up. Stress tends to like change even like your brain function, and on top of that, the structure, which is kind of weird because like we live in a very like depressing and like kind of, I don't know, I feel like people are a lot more depressed recently than they used to be. Like, I mean, I don't know if you agree or not.
No, I agree. And so I'm gonna say, I really like all the points you made, but I like to focus in on like the good stress versus bad stress, where you said good stress is where it motivates you, and I think what makes something good or bad stress depends on the person, how they perceive it. And I think like as a human, if I take stress and I say to myself, oh man, like I can't do this, I can't do it, that's when it becomes bad stress. That same stressor, so the same thing that's causing the stress, can still be a positive thing if I decide to look at it as, you know, it's a challenge, but I really need to tackle it. And I will say there are things that cannot be good stress. There are things that are just completely out of our control. But I think this relates to something that Abuna actually said in the sermon today. He said that like in things we can't control, like we have to trust God in it, right? In things we can't control, we have to put God and be like I trust that whatever is happening is coming from God. And a good example of this is, Abuna said this in the sermon, I'm just stealing it like verbatim, but he said that in the story of David, you know, David and his friends were out, and Saul's men were cursing him and throwing stones at David. And his friends said, do you want us to go kill that guy? And David said, well, what if God told him to curse me and to throw stones at me? Obviously, God did not do that. But it's that perception of this is something I can't control, but try to see God's message in it. And that like it causes you to think about it in a completely different way. And you apply that to stress. You have something like, for example, you know, both of us were both seniors in high school. We're applying to colleges now, and it's a stressful process. And there's two main ways we can think about it. We can either think about it as, man, like I'm never gonna get into my dream school. And a lot of times I think about that. I think the same thing. It's like you think of the worst that's gonna happen. You're like, man, I can't do this. I can't get all these essays in. There's no way I can bring my SAT up. There's no way, you know, I can really portray who I am in 650 words. You know. Mm-hmm. And there's another way to look at it where it's like, sure, this is hard. Sure, I'm struggling, but I know that if I put everything I have into it and I let God take over the things I can't control, take over who the admissions officer is, let him control that side, you know, and decide like, you know, to help the people making the decision to do the right decision, then in the end, whatever's good for me is what's going to come out of it. And I think that's where stress, there's a line for stress where you can stress about things, you can put priorities, you can say, I need to do this now. Like you can use that as like pressure to get stuff done.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as like a pressure to get things done because for me, like at least
like this part, like lower on it.
At least, you know, I get overwhelmed with okay, I need to make a to-do list, and then I'm like, oh my God, like I have a lot of stuff to finish in this amount of time. I need to do this, and then I'm like overwhelmed, and then kind of that's such a bad habit like that I started for myself, like just being sometimes overly organized kind of hurts you.
I'm really organized too,
so well it depends, at least like everyone's slightly different, but for me when I make that list and I look at the list and I'm like, shoot, like this is like a lot, I'm like feeling overwhelmed, instead of I could just get into the like subject. Start with the homework, gradually get into it. But you mentioned the whole college admissions thing, and it got me a little stressed right now. So
Yeah, it is a big stressor. But, a lot of it is completely out of your control.
yeah,
Right.
and truly, like someone told me this earlier. You really can only give your 5 loaves and 2 fish. But then I think about it. I'm like, how can I give the best 5
Yeah.
loaves and 2 fish that I have? And you're gonna be like, oh well, you're stressed, so that's negatively affecting you. So I think, let me ask you, what are some things you do to get rid of stress in your life?
That's a good question.
Or like, what are things in general people can do
Yeah.
to get rid of stress?
I think for me personally, how I get rid of stress is I honestly, like, I just change my perception on it. I don't think of it as something pulling me down. I think of it as something pushing me forward. There's something they say when you're lifting in the gym. Someone told me this when I was, just getting in. It's like when you bench, right? Instead of thinking about pushing the weight up, think about pushing yourself like through the ground, right?
That's very
think
common.
about like holding, like you're pushing yourself away from the weight. And obviously it sounds stupid, but that small change in your mentality completely changes what weight you can do. And it just goes to show you like how much your mind really plays into like what you do. So I think if you take the same idea and you apply it, instead of thinking of, man, I have so much to do, think about, I know I get to do all this. It's actually something Andrew Tate said, which is kind of funny. It's one of the few things he says that are logical, but I really like it. It's like, instead of thinking I have to do this, think it's a blessing I get to do it. And it sounds so stupid. It sounds so dumb. And I'm not like, I'm the first one, someone who speaks to, I condemn myself. Like I'm the first person that needs to listen to what I say. But honestly, it's when you're able to separate between what is helping me and what is hurting me, and then the things that are in the middle, making it something that helps you. I think that's for me personally. But
So you kind of change your mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
So
it sounds super cliche, but
no, I don't think it's cliche because, if you're able to look at something differently, then you're taking a different approach
yeah,
to whatever your task is, or even sometimes people get stressed from like friendships, like relationships, like all that stuff, and just people in general. And like you get really worked up. Like I feel like stress really works you up.
yeah,
That you lose just like the sense of just like living in the moment. Like I think that's what
living
stress
in the
does.
moment's a big one.
But for me, I don't know. Like changing my perception is good, but then I still feel like that stress that's kind of just underlying. It's like I'm pushing it down.
Yeah.
So
I think like obviously a very, very, good way to get rid of it is physical activity.
yeah,
Like
I was
I've
about to say the
noticed,
same thing.
like I've kind of slowed down a little bit because of the surgery and all that, and I feel more stressed. I feel more like charged up. But physical activity is definitely a good one. I think honestly, the best thing I can think of is quiet time. Like real quiet time. It's sitting in absolute silence, like listening to your own heartbeat and focusing in on it. We talked about this, by the way, on the first episode. Yeah.
But I'm just gonna jump in. I feel like people have just a difficulty with controlling their thoughts. So this might get into like something different. But like sitting quietly, okay, someone might feel like they cannot focus their thoughts, even if they're thinking about whatever it may be, their heartbeat, their breathing. They just jump to thoughts.
I will say it's very hard, and it takes a lot of time and practice. And I think the first time I ever did it, I got about 20 seconds. But the power you feel in those 20 seconds of like, let me focus on my heartbeat, and that's the only thing you hear. And you just focus on the heartbeat, and you keep focusing, eyes closed, keep focusing on the heartbeat. You feel so in tune with yourself. There's this book about it, or this book it mentioned it, and that's where I learned this from. I always forget the name of the book, but Colin can put it right here for me. Yeah, we have an editor now, actually, part of season 2. But it's so powerful, really feeling like who you are. You know, it's because if you think about it, right? Just sit and think about it. God created every single. He literally wove you together, right? There's a psalm that says, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made," right? God literally sat there and put you piece by piece together. So how beautiful is it to think of, especially you really love medicine, you wanted to be a doctor. Like, think about all the muscles. I don't know any of them. Think about all like the intricacies within your body, how the nervous system works, all these things. It's so rich. It's so rich. And seeing God in those little things makes you appreciate so much. It makes you so thankful for who you are, which in turn reduces stress. Because a lot of stress is, I need the next thing. I need the next thing. I need the next thing. I need to be better. I need to be better.
Sure.
I need to be better. I'm not saying wanting to be better is bad, but you need to learn to be content with yourself at the same time reaching for more.
Ooh, that's very difficult.
It is, because it's almost impossible.
For me, I just don't feel content with myself. So even if like I get really good at something, I will not notice that I'm good at something and I think I'm bad at it. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Football is one of the biggest things that till this day I just don't think I'm good at. But I kind of like take a step back every now and then, and I don't want to sound like, prideful.
I mean, you're 5'7", so you're not good at football.
Okay. It's okay if I'm 5'7". I'm actually 5'8". But I kind of just step back and I realize, like, I look at the film. I'm like, hey, like, this is really good. Like when my coach tells me, hey, you're doing a really good job. Like, this is the best game you played, this and that. I realize I'm like, okay, like, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I can work on some stuff, but like,
Yeah. And I think, sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
I think like it's so hard to be both content and wanting to do better. Because a lot of people fall into this just like, oh no, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's just very polar. Some people feel very content where they don't want to work, and people are just not content at all that they're continually working. And then I realized, like, just within my, I guess, like, working habits within anything, mostly school, like, I get so overworked that I allow stress, and then your performance starts to decline.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just not really efficiently producing the fruits that you want or anything that you want, like outcomes.
Yeah. And I'll say, like, when it comes to wanting to be better, it's so easy to fall in this trap of jealousy, being jealous of others. And I think where the happy medium between wanting more and being content falls in reducing jealousy. Mm-hmm. And jealousy is very stress-induced, very stress-induced. I mean, you think about times where you're like, man, I wish I had what this person had. A lot of times that stems from being stressed out about something.
And I'm not going to lie. I think because for me, to counteract jealousy, because you see, oh, someone has this, and you just forget what you have, and you get so stressed and worked up. Hey, like, I don't have this. I need this. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to attain this in some way or form without recognizing what you're good at. And I kind of just look at it like, I say this a lot, but I don't think anyone is actually like dumb, because I don't like that word like being used in like education. Oh, you're not in the smart classes or whatever. And I know I might be going on a tangent right now.
Go ahead.
But
because I'm gonna tie this back in. Don't worry, I got you.
But also, Miriam stole that line from me in her episode. But I just want to make that clear. And
if you haven't watched that, it's up here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, back to what I was saying. So you kind of just fall into the trap of believing what others say while you have this skill set that you might not know of. So, yeah, you might not be the greatest reader, but you might have a passion for like history or math or science. Like, your skill set lays somewhere else, even if it's outside academics. Like, that doesn't mean you're not smart or you're not intelligent, because there's no way you have such a high functioning brain and someone has the right to call you dumb or slow. I mean, there's definitely people, it's proven, more intelligent than others, but that doesn't mean you have a special skill set or talent that you could use.
So I'm going to tie this into the college admission process.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think this is something that I've realized, like, as I'm doing the process is, sure, I don't have as high of an SAT as I would like to, or as high of an SAT that other people have.
Take it easy.
Sure, I don't have as high of a GPA for sure that I could have attained if I just tried harder sophomore year.
I feel the same way.
Like,
I feel like everyone slacks sophomore year.
Yeah.
And that freshman year.
I mean, we were online. That's probably why I slacked. But you were in Cherokee County is different. But like, it's that.
What?
That was just really loud breathing. You're good. But it's like this process where I've realized, like, sure, I don't have those things, but I have other skills. I have other things. Obviously, the podcast, I don't want to make anyone feel bad they don't have a podcast, but there's other things that, you know, I have a lot of service hours. I have whatever, this. And that doesn't make me better than anyone. It doesn't make anyone better than me. We're just good at different things. And I think when you realize that, and when you realize that, hey, I have especially in the college admission process, if I had to give any advice to anyone who's going to do it in the future, it's make yourself unique. Make yourself unique in the process. Like, show that you're different. You know, just because you have the same SAT, same GPA, same extracurriculars, find something that separates you from everyone else, because first off, you can take pride in that. You can be like, hey, you know, I got something no one else has, you know, and that takes out a lot of jealousy. And at the same time, it takes out a lot of stress, because you're like, you know, if a college would like someone that has this trait or this personality or this whatever, I have that and no one else does. And sure, you can think of, oh, they're going to overlook it, but you'd be surprised what God can do.
I mean, on top of that, I think we forget, like, they're humans too.
Yeah.
So they notice things about people. Like, I'm sure that they're looking for good grades and high test scores and and a good essay even. But even if you try to show through your, like, activities that you have dedication, commitment. And I think high school is a lot greater than just, you know, grades and all of just academics. I think it's really a good time to build, like, virtues and habits. And that's how I've kind of just changed my thinking very recently, like in the past month. Like, this is really just the time for me to grow as a person. So when that stuff really, really does matter for the next stage of my life, that I already have that commitment, that work ethic, good relationships and social skills. So all that stuff builds up. So it kind of reduces my stress, tying back to stress, that my goal here is not to be the valedictorian or whatever it may be. Like, right now is the time for me to build my foundation to carry that over into the next chapter of your life. Because you could be really smart and then you go to a really good college and you have just bad work ethic and you get stressed out because you're not doing well, because no one is, like, able to go past their capabilities. So
yeah, and I think like honestly, like when it comes to, like, stress in high school and in life in general, I think the best way to not be stressed is honestly just like just don't think. And it's so hard to say, like, don't think about it, but it really is that simple. And I think a lot of times as a Western society, we're very bad at being simple. We are hurt. It's impossible for us to be simple. And I think you can think in any, you can think secularly, you can think religiously. A lot of the most successful people are very simple. Very simple.
And they do, I mean, simple things that you
that
just take for granted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you think about, I was watching a TED Talk for engineering, and it was this product developer at Apple. I mean, they were selling the iPod. Something they noticed is that no other electronic, company is selling electronics fully charged or with any battery in them. They're all dead, and you have to charge it up and then use it. And he was like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why someone who's so excited to use this product, they just want to use it. They just want to use it. They open it, and they have to charge it. So what did Apple do? They put them in the boxes fully charged,
60%.
or 60%, whatever. There's,
I thought you were about to say they come fully charged. Nope.
No, they don't. They come 60, but they come with enough battery for you to use it.
Yeah, I think 60.
And
I'm not sure, actually.
that small difference. I mean, that's what took Apple to an even, like, they were already at a high level, but even a different level. You know, and he was like, you know, he opened his whole TED Talk about how the sticker on the apple, how all you want to do the first time you ever get an apple, you just want to eat it, but it's so inconvenient to take the sticker off. But every time you take it off, you just get more numb to it. You don't even realize that you have to take off a sticker. It's kind of like a random tangent, but
A little random.
that's like so random. What does that have to do with stress? But you can apply it to stress in the same way, where it's like, don't be okay with the small things that lead you to be more stressed. Don't just sit there and just because you're used to it, don't be okay with it. And there's a lot of small stressors, and I think that's like the biggest issue.
That's true.
The small things.
Do we get numb to some stressors?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, for example, you know, there's something that just stresses me out randomly. It's just not being on time. And it's good to be on time. But to the point where I'm like arguing with my brother, getting in a fight with my mom, or just like ruining everyone's day. Is it really worth it to be 10 minutes late? So
yeah.
that's my question. That's the first thing that came to mind.
So personally, I hate being late as well. So I'm probably a really bad person to ask. Like this morning, I was late for church. I was so mad.
And you like flip the whole house. Like you need
Basically,
to like get going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm like that. Sorry, mama. But I think when you think of these habitual stressors, like they're called, you know, like or, you know, things that, because the human brain, right? If we remember every single thing, we don't have space for that. So we compartmentalize things. That's why, you know, you've been driving for a couple of years. You can drive without really fully paying attention.
Oh yeah.
You can kind of just tune it out and just drive and you'll get there.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to look at every sign.
I'm
you just
convinced on my way to church, I can do it with my eyes closed.
Okay. I don't know about that much.
I
Okay, let's not try, please.
Sometimes
please.
I try. I just close my eyes.
We're not trying.
But don't tell anyone.
So it's like those like habit things, or like the peeling of the sticker off the apple every time, you know. But you think about stressors, habitual stressors, things that we just do that stress us off or tick us off a little bit. We don't do anything about it. And I'll say for me, a personal example is like I never wake up on time.
Why?
Ever. I never
Maybe
do
I'll
anything
give you
about
my
it.
alarm. I'll give you my alarm.
You give me your alarm?
Yeah.
What do you have, one of those old alarm clocks?
Like, it's bad. He'll get you awake before the alarm.
Trust me, I wake everyone else in the house up except for myself.
That's bad.
No, I wake up, I turn it off and go back to sleep. Like, I just don't feel like, you know. So again, and that, what does that do? Causes stress, right? Now I'm 20 minutes late. Got to get ready super fast. I got to leave. Got to, you know. So, like, why don't I do anything about it? Why?
I don't know. Ask yourself. Like set a couple alarms. Do
like
something.
A therapy
like,
session. No, but again, it's like back to that, like
when I have the alarm, I'm right out of bed. Like, I'm not
you're
just
like,
waiting for the next news.
I'm waiting for mama to come wake me up, is what it is.
No.
But,
If I don't wake myself up, I'm just. I can't.
It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to that, like.
But then that goes back to like just starting your day. If you're already starting your day stressed, because that could be a daily habit thing.
I was gonna get into that. Thank you.
Yeah, like I was just thinking about that. If you start every day slightly stressed, just getting out of bed, like that's the first thing you do.
Ooh.
I mean,
I
can't imagine what else you're getting stressed about.
I mean, because you go home, like you go downstairs, your mom's trying to talk to you, you're like, Mom, I don't have time.
And then
so
you're
now,
just ruining
exactly,
like a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you have to come back and apologize.
Yeah.
And you're already like worked up through your day.
Yeah.
Man, it all just, you know what, guys? Just get out of bed. Like,
make your bed. Get up at 6 a.m. Make your bed every morning. Change your life.
Yeah.
It probably will change your life, honestly.
You never know.
They say those like small,
small details.
The small habitual things can also reverse stress. Making your bed every morning.
You know, I'm not sure if I wanted to share this on a podcast.
Sure, go ahead.
But, I think something that definitely reduces my stress and just gives me clarity. And, whoever's out there, you can make fun of me all you want, but writing in a journal is so
I need to start doing that.
relieving. I don't even know how to explain it. Just putting your thoughts on paper, or more importantly, your emotions, your goals, what you're upset about, or just even random things that happened that just bothered you. Man,
You journal. I never knew that about you, by the way.
possibly.
No, it's fine. No, we've had people that journal all the time on the podcast.
I mean, yeah, I journal.
I need to journal.
Mostly when I'm upset.
I mean, it's all journaling.
And it's, whatever culture wants to call it, soft boy or whatever. like I just don't care.
Not a top G, huh?
I'm not the top G. It's just it's
No
edifying for myself. So.
No, I do something similar. If I'm really, really worked up, I'll go in my notes app and just
type
everything out.
I don't like notes.
But I need to get a physical journal. I need to start journaling. I need to.
But some people I talk to, journaling isn't really for them. So
No.
it just depends.
Yeah.
If it's for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's reading. I mean.
I love reading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I've been reading
insight.
every night
Oh,
before I go to bed. Even if it's 2 a.m, I still read.
That's good.
Yeah.
I just had break and I spent way too much time reading.
No, dude, reading is one of those. Okay, we're moving on from the stress topic. Okay, we're just gonna keep talking.
Well, this is really just kind of.
We're just talking. I don't like
really
this.
just solutions.
Sure,
to our
reading is a
personal
solution to
stress.
stress. Yeah,
Yeah, it ties in.
it ties in somehow.
We are
It's okay.
still on topic.
We're still on topic. It's fine.
Okay.
No, but reading is. I think there's so many positives to reading that I regret wasting my whole high school life not reading.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean,
If I
even
if
just
only
from
I
a-
read,
even from
dude,
an SAT,
bro, my college essays would be 10 times better if I could read.
well,
And my SAT English section.
On top of that, yeah, more importantly, for me, it was just I was in reading bull in 5th grade, and then
Bro, I was in
middle school. I thought I was too.
3rd, 4th, 5th grade.
I thought I was too cool for reading at
Yep,
one point.
That's what happened.
I was 6th, 7th, 8th, even 9th, and then 10th grade. I was I need to stop being
No, mine
a
was
derelict.
6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th.
Dang.
I still enjoyed reading. I just never did it. It's
Yeah, it's really
because I would come up with dumb
really
excuses.
habit. And I just get irritated because it's always the first 50 pages. I'm just it's just
No,
boring.
now I just read books I want to read, and I think that helps a lot. Dude, I have a whole list of things I want to read.
Yeah.
Have you read Elements?
No.
Dude, I want to read that. I want to read Elements.
What's it is this what fiction?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. You know what it is, though, right?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
So
know.
Elements is a spiritual book written by no one knows actually. It's some priest. No one.
Okay,
actually
so
knows who it
you're
is.
into spiritual books. I'm just gonna have to pause. I love stories. So
Fiction. I can do
something
fiction.
about fiction.
I can, but I love spiritual books. I love history books. I'm a nerd. I'm a proper nerd.
I get the history books, and I get sometimes some spiritual books, but for me,
I don't like the old translated ones though. Like the ones from Arabic to English. I
Okay.
can't read those. They're too hard.
I just like reading, something that allows me to feel in the moment of the page. Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of our stress relievers. I mean,
You can keep talking if you want.
we really can.
Just keep going. Who cares? If they don't want to watch, they'll just click off, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's
they're
not
the
like
consumers. They
Keep
can
It
do
at
whatever they want.
99 has any subscribers anyway.
Speaking of subscribers, since we're on the topic,
It's time to subscribe.
it's time to subscribe because, our goal here on Keep It 99 is to catch up to one of the fastest growing content creators out there.
Yeah.
I can't say his name because he asked me not to call him out on the podcast. However, he has 4,000 subscribers, and he was at 1,000 a month ago. So, come on, guys, we got to catch up.
Yeah, we'll see about that. This isn't really. This is more serious. Not funny. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it is not funny. This is not funny because Munda's gone now. Like, there's no funny anymore. But his isn't funny.
See what
either.
you did, Munda. See what you did.
But his videos aren't funny either. I'm playing. They are. They're
No,
hilarious.
they're very funny.
They're funny, but it's so easy. Like the content he is, but it's like barely any effort. You know?
What? I think they're great. I think
No, they're great.
it's simple.
It is simple. It's so effortless. Like I wish like
I think it's simple and it follows all the rules to make you laugh.
yeah, but it's like zero effort. Like literally. You just walk up to a college campus. Do you like Andrew Tate?
No,
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Like it's I don't know. Easy content. Anyways. Subscribe. Click the subscribe button right now and the like button and comment.
Okay, back to stress. What haven't we touched on? We haven't touched up on how it actually changes your brain.
Oh, I was
'Cause
going
I've
to bring this up
actually
and I forgot to bring it up.
I was looking into that, and it's kind of crazy how something just like chronic stress or whatever you want to call it just affects your brain. And in general, just an umbrella idea, how a lot of things affect your brain.
Everything does.
Like, and the whole idea of neuroplasticity and
Okay,
like,
okay. Let's calm down a little bit.
okay. Like things could just change in your brain just because of habits you build. Like
yeah.
apparently there's like some study that if you pray for like or take quiet time and like pray for like 8 weeks, it's like proven in your brain through like brain scans or whatever that your brain actually like alters a little bit.
Anything you do, your brain alters. I mean,
But isn't that crazy?
it is crazy. But again, it goes back to this point of God literally, like, that's how insane God's creation is. We don't think about it. Like, we really don't. We take all of it for granted. Not even ourselves. I mean, just look at that tree outside, bro. There is so much to learn about that tree, that specific tree.
Okay.
I'm serious, bro. I'm just saying. It is kind of a bad example, but there's so much to learn that we've never learned. I mean, we only know what 5% of the ocean is.
We've learned a lot about trees. We've learned a lot of trees.
But there's
That was a terrible example.
but there's still more.
I mean,
There's still more.
I guess, yes.
I mean, we'll never know if there's more or not.
There probably is more.
There probably is. For example, the ocean.
Okay, that's fair.
We only know
Fair
what is it, 5% or something like that of the ocean?
Yeah, 5%.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mhm.
yeah, just random.
Yeah. So what did that have to do with stress? Yeah, I don't remember either.
I can't remember. Man, you're so one directional.
Yeah, because I mean,
Learn how to clickbait,
You know,
George.
I'm not trying to click.
Learn what clickbait is.
I'm not gonna click.
I
I just
know
want.
what?
I just want the
'cause you
viewers
said
to
that-
know.
Just because you said that, I'm clickbaiting this episode like crazy.
I just want the viewers to know that like, this isn't about trees. Like, it's about stress. Like it's not about. It's not
I'm
about.
I'm gonna make the title George Loves Trees.
No. No. Because I don't.
I
love
kind of want to
trees.
try. I kind of want to try. You don't like, but George doesn't like trees.
Okay. George does not believe in trees.
George doesn't believe in trees. Talking about not believing. Thank you for saying that.
Oh wow. What does this have to do with stress?
You'll see in a second.
Okay.
So stress can induce a lot of mental health
Yeah.
illnesses,
changing
mental
your
health
brain.
issues, and a lot of people don't believe in mental health issues. What do you say to people like that?
I mean, it's really hard to change someone's thinking if they're really just like set on it. But I mean, like, you can present them with the facts and the science and
Mhm.
like you could have a whole arsenal of just, just evidence. And if it's just a choice that they don't want to believe, I mean, it's not really your loss. It's really theirs. I mean, if they're going through something and they just want to avoid it, which actually, to get into that, there's a lot of cases where people are just like, it's very difficult for them to identify it. And that's really difficult. But you need people there to help them, like, hey, this
Mhm.
is an issue. But I would say that's the most difficult part. Just identifying it.
And where do you think that line is where it's like you're just going through something or you have an actual issue? Obviously, you're not a doctor or psychologist, but like,
Yeah, like,
personally,
don't
what
take
you
my
believe.
word for it, but I'm just, if I had to say something, I would just say it's more like seriously chronic. Like it's a lot more like day-to-day basis. It's a lot more, like this isn't just a week this isn't I'm having a bad week.
Yeah.
This isn't I'm having a bad 2 weeks. This is I've had several months of just bad.
Yeah.
And like I'm like I don't feel like who I am, like because you have to understand, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna be happy, you're gonna be mad, and that's gonna change, but you're not losing yourself within those emotions. That's really important. If you feel like you're really losing yourself, maybe
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that has to do with stress.
I mean, you're so annoying. You know that? You know how annoying you are? It has everything to do with stress. I was about to say that.
Okay.
Cut me off.
What does it have to do with stress?
So, because I'll say a lot of people can stress themselves into.
Okay, true. That's facts. Okay, fair.
So, what.
Fair game.
Going back to the whole. Man, you're so one-dimensional. Everything's got to be about stress.
What? That's what the episode is about.
It's funny because the first episode, like the one that we filmed, the first one, we said we were going to talk about a topic, and we talked about 25 different things.
Oh yeah, that was the first episode.
That were completely unrelated to each other.
It's verified now, but it's not.
Not verified.
But it is. It's more legit.
It is more legit.
In the first episode, I didn't have headphones like this.
You also went. Should I do it?
No. Don't do it.
I mean, I can turn the volume down. I'm not going to do it, though. I don't feel like editing.
More specific!
He actually scared me. So bad. Colin, please turn that volume down because that scared me. I jumped.
Okay. I think
that's all, man.
I think this is all.
You scared all the ideas out of my head.
Overstretched this conversation.
It's pretty long, 43.
43 minutes. Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I say you cut this down. Seriously.
What do you mean cut this, like this episode?
Yeah, cut it down a little bit.
How?
I don't know.
Dude, that how podcasts work?
Yeah.
Just like to thank the sponsor for this episode.
WeTheCops.com. I don't know.
George, they stopped sponsoring us. But you can still use code KEEP99 for 10% off.
You can still use code KEEP99 on WeTheCops.com if you want a cool cross like off. Isaiah for 10% off.
But they don't pay us.
But they don't pay.
Some of you guys might not know before we end this episode.
I'm sorry. We the cops, you guys are cops, so I'm guessing. But, it's not right, man. It's not right.
Pay my boy. I will say, George is actually a part of the team of Keeping It 99. A lot of the questions that you hear me ask are from him.
He's just not good at asking them.
Okay, all these questions I made up on the spot, so don't tell me that.
Okay, yeah, this podcast was very different.
Most of them, I make up all the questions. Yeah. Even if you send me them, I still make them
Isaiah
up.
Is a staged actor.
Yeah, so is this.
I send him the script.
Staged actor.
Hey.
To cover the sprite in the background. I had no clue that was there, by the way.
Okay. Sounds like we need to wrap this up. This is enough of Keeping It 99.
Keeping It 49.5.
Enough of me. I'm just going to stop wasting your time. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. And I'll see you guys.
I love how you're looking at the computer, not the actual camera when you're saying that whole thing. Let's try that again. Come on.
Okay. Well, dang.
That's a different view up there. Tony, are you awake?
Okay, let's actually end it now.
It's already ended.
You ended it already?
I mean, he'll just cut it at some point.
Oh,
hopefully.
okay.
Oh, that was all for Keeping It 99. Please like, comment, subscribe. Turn on post notifications.
And we will see you later. Hey, WeTheCops.com. Don't forget my boy Isaiah.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Tony, you're supposed to say see you next time.
See you next time.
Tony, say it real quick.